Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
The Illinois Supreme Court rules in favor of eliminating cash bail. A local sheriff weighs in on what that decision could mean for public safety.
One of the biggest developments in downtown Rockford history moves forward. The company involved makes it official after a split vote last night by city council members.
And a local business celebrates helping NASA take us back to the moon. One program manager says it's a sign of Rockford's hard work ethic. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. The Illinois Supreme Court rules cash bail can be eliminated in the state.
In a 5-2 ruling, Illinois' highest court overturned a ruling by a Kankakee County judge calling the law unconstitutional. The Safety Act passed in 2021. Multiple states' attorneys, including Winnebago counties, had concerns with getting rid of the cash bail system. They urged lawmakers to propose a constitutional amendment. They filed lawsuits last year to stop the law, arguing the Illinois Constitution guarantees people bail by sufficient sureties. But the court shut down that argument, saying that sureties does not inherently mean cash. Here in the state line, many local sheriffs were against eliminating cash bail.
Nikel Delgado checked in with Ogle County's top law enforcement officer. Nikel, what does he have to say?
Well, Eric and Mimi, he tells me he's disappointed in the ruling and he believes this will tie his hands. His concern moving forward is how to bridge that gap between no cash bail, but yet making this a safe place where people want to live.
The cash bail obviously is something that impacts our court system in a positive manner because it makes people come back to court.
Ogle County Sheriff Brian Van Vickle believes eliminating cash bail could have many implications, including filling the gap of where that money currently goes.
Looks like the county will probably lose about $150,000 of operating that would go into the circuit clerk's money. So again, that goes back on to the taxpayers.
Governor J.B. Pritzker released a statement saying this reform ensures pretrial detainment is determined by the danger of an individual posed to the community instead of their ability to pay their way out of jail. But the sheriff disagrees, telling me they will have to release 50% of the inmates they currently have in custody.
Which is a concern because we don't hold anybody on low-level crimes. You know, the big thing when the legislature was talking about this, they talked about the single mother who was arrested and in jail for stealing diapers. That's not the case. That's not the people that we hold. We hold the methamphetamine dealers, the cocaine dealers, that, you know, people that have aggravated DUIs and things like that. Those are the people that we have in custody.
But no matter what, his focus is to continue to put the safety of the community first.
What I want the public to realize is that we're still going to be out there doing our job. We're still going to be out there with the intention to protect them and make this a great place to live, make this a community where we want our kids to come back to, where our kids want to come back and live after they, go away to school or whatever it might be.
Sheriff Van Vickle says his department was ready for this on January 1st and will be again ready for this implementation on September 18th. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Nikel. A Janesville felon is arrested for having a gun. Isaiah Ruffins was taken into custody last night. The 20-year-old was sentenced to 6 months for homicide by negligent handling of a dangerous weapon last year. With that information, officers searched Ruffins' home where they found a loaded handgun. He's now charged with a parole violation as well as a felon in possession of a firearm.
A Janesville man is sentenced to more than a decade in prison for robbing several gas stations at gunpoint. A judge sentenced Devonte Wilson to 13 years in federal prison. In September 2020, Wilson robbed a Lions Quick Mart in Janesville. He stole cash and cigarettes. Over the next 2 days, Wilson committed 8 more armed robberies in Fitchburg, Madison, and Janesville. Shortly after the last one, police arrested him. They found cash, cartons of cigarettes, and a loaded gun in his car. The judge told Wilson the money he took from each store paled in comparison to the terrorism he imposed on each employee.
Officers in Beloit are looking for a man, and they hope something he left behind will lead them right to him. Beloit police say Tony Rich fled from a traffic stop. A Facebook post from the department says that Rich drove off at a high rate of speed, but he forgot his driver's license. Officers say that Rich also has felony warrants on his record. In a social media post, police said Rich can meet them at 100 State Street to get his license back. That's the police department, or 200 U.S. Highway 14 in Janesville, the Rock County Sheriff's Office.
The Barbara Coleman project is officially underway. Jay Jeffers and the city of Rockford signed the development agreement for the property. Coleman Yards will transform the old 26-acre Barbara Coleman site into a mix of commercial and residential space. Jeffers says construction will start soon on the $170 million first phase. The entire project is expected to cost $430 million.
A local engineering company celebrates the new NASA mission to the stars. Collins Aerospace thanked its team for the roles in the Artemis program. Artemis will return astronauts to the moon for the first time in 50 years. The teams at Collins Rockford make parts for the engines of the spacecraft to help steer it after launch. One senior program manager says it's thrilling to be a part of this journey.
Can't speak for everyone, but for myself and I think all of Collins Aerospace employees that work on the Artemis program. We have over 100 employees here in Rockford that work on the Artemis program. I'd say that they're all very excited and thrilled to be part of a program that's returning our astronauts to the moon for the first time in 50 years. Yeah, I just want to say that I'm really proud and happy to be part of this team, and I'm really excited to see, NASA return our astronauts to the moon, and appreciate all the hard work that all of the Collins employees have done to help support the Artemis program.
Collins has already delivered the hardware needed for Artemis 2's launch, which is set for next year. Now the engineers are hard at work making parts for Artemis 3 through 6.
A Rockford organization brings back a special ceremony to celebrate community service. The Community Foundation of Northern Illinois announced the return of the Excalibur and Excelsior Awards. Those awards honor individuals and organizations that exemplify excellence serving the community. Excalibur and Excelsior now also include 4 new awards for Boone, Ogle, Stevenson, and Winnebago counties. Those are for people considered community champions. The event didn't happen last year because of a lack of partners. Organizers say this year is going to be truly special for the community.
It's going to be very exciting. I am a transplant to this community, so I haven't been here for the long history of these events, but people are talking, about, as Pam mentioned, going to the event in 1990 and what a celebration it was, a kickoff to the holiday season, the really festive spirit, the true celebratory nature of there are good things and good people in our community giving back every day. So it just makes sense for the Community Foundation to be a part of that, and we are so excited.
WTVO WQRF is the official TV partner of the Excelsior and Excalibur Awards.
The Summerfield Zoo has some new arrivals for guests to see. The zoo's nursery is now home to 2 new babies, a Siberian lynx kitten and an African crested porcupine. For now, both animals are only available to see in the zoo's nursery. If you're wondering what their names are, the lynx has been named Jinx, while the porcupine is named Lance. If you're interested in visiting Summerfield Zoo, admission costs $14 for adults, $12 for seniors, and $10 for kids. Lawmakers debate in the nation's capital over the Second Amendment.
Up next, some Republicans argue veterans' rights to own a gun are being unfairly taken away.
Our temperatures this afternoon made it up to 80 degrees under plenty of sunshine. This after starting off in the 50s. Those numbers are expected to climb within a week's time. Find out when we see the heat and humidity set to return. Coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Lever, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Republicans believe veterans' Second Amendment rights are being violated. Some vets appointed a trustee to help manage their benefits are also blocked from buying guns. Lawmakers want to change that process.
But Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon reports Democrats argue the current process is saving the lives of suicidal veterans. Clearly, we're having some technical difficulties with that. We'll try and get that for you a bit later. Meantime, what a beautiful day out there. Temperatures just hitting the 80s.
Kind of a carbon copy from yesterday. It's great. Up next, Candace tells us how low we go tonight and what sort of heat we should expect over the next couple of days.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, things have been pretty quiet for us here late this afternoon and evening. Just a few clouds out there for us today. Those will clear out as we go through the night, and this will allow our temperature to drop back into the 50s once again overnight. We'll keep an eye on some activity that'll develop here through the plains into Minnesota later this evening. That activity will work to the southeast, but it's running into an air mass that's really dry. So I expect any shower activity to kind of fade away, but we will see some cloud cover as a result of that tomorrow morning. Tonight, though, underneath that mostly clear sky, we are back down into the 50s. Here comes that cloud cover mid to late morning, so that'll stay with us a little bit. And then we clear out going into tomorrow afternoon. Winds will shift around to the south during the day tomorrow, so that will bring our temperature up. Humidity stays in check a little bit for the day tomorrow, but it does climb some into tomorrow evening. And this will be ahead of a cold front that will eventually fuel a few showers and a couple of thunderstorms. Now, any threat for severe weather looks to stay focused from northeast Iowa into southwest and central Wisconsin. We may see a strong wind gust or two late Wednesday night into early Thursday as that cold front comes through. Now, I do think Futurecast clears this out a little too fast. I think we hold on to at least that chance for some showers and thunderstorms into early Thursday, but by sunrise Thursday morning, that front will already be to the east of us. More than likely, it'll already be to the east of us, so things will quiet down. Some cloud cover does build up for Thursday afternoon as winds turn to the northwest, but any shower activity should stay outside of the area for the afternoon and evening. Another comfortable night Thursday night. Friday still looks great, and we've got a few isolated rain chances going into the weekend. Beautiful evening out there right now. A live look with our SkyTrack camera. You see some higher level clouds kind of moving in, and that'll be the trend as we go throughout this evening. 77 in Freeport. We're up to 78 in Rockford, 77 in Rochelle, Dixon, and you're up to 80 right now in Sterling, but still pretty comfortable out there. 80 for our weather watcher Terry in Genoa. Relative humidity sits at 50% and a calm wind. Mike in Forston also has 80 degrees underneath a partly cloudy sky. Very nice out there. No rainfall today. Rain chances, as I mentioned, do go up a little tomorrow evening, and we've got a few opportunities for some rainfall going into the weekend, but nothing looks to be a widespread rain event. Now, the heat that continues to build out to the west and southwest, that stays there for these next several days, but there are some indications that that big ridge of high pressure that has been out to the west will slowly start to break down and kind of work its way to the east. So eventually, I think we see some of that heat begin to shift eastward. How fast that occurs, meaning how fast we see those temperatures climb, still kind of up in the air, but expect within the middle to end part of next week, those temperatures will be climbing. So 57 for us tonight. Temperature tomorrow back up into the mid 80s. Chance for shower thunderstorm Wednesday into Thursday. 83 on Friday. Chance late Saturday into Sunday too. We may see some activity Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and then a steady climb with those numbers going into next week.
All right. Thanks, Candace.
Back to that story we tried to bring you a few minutes ago. Republicans believe veterans' Second Amendment rights are being violated. Some vets appointed a trustee to help manage their benefits are also blocked from buying guns.
But Washington correspondent Alexander Limon reports Democrats argue the current process is saving the lives of suicidal veterans.
We're punishing our veterans for simply seeking help.
Illinois Congressman Michael Bost says his bill is aimed at protecting veterans' Second Amendment rights.
VA should not be able to take away a veteran's Second Amendment rights because they need help managing their benefits.
Bost wants to require a court order before the Veterans Benefit Administration can report veterans to the FBI National Background Check Database and block their gun purchases.
They have 8 times greater likelihood of suicidal ideations.
Democrats like Congressman Mark Takano say the current process saves lives, and the VA agrees.
At least a third of veterans in the fiduciary program are identified as potentially schizophrenic. Nearly as much are identified as with serious bipolar disorder.
Statistics show that 17 veterans die by suicide every day, and 12 of those deaths are from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. The VA also says that requiring a court order complicates the process.
And we believe, as part of suicide prevention, that those determinations should not be elongated, and we believe it causes further harm to veterans.
And the VA says right now veterans can also appeal before being added to the FBI NICS list. In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
Scott's next with sports.
The Packers add some more help at quarterback by bringing in the top player from another pro football league.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
The Packers no longer have a former NFL MVP in their quarterback room in Aaron Rodgers, but they will have the reigning USFL MVP. They're expected to sign Alex McGough. He worked out for the Packers today. McGough is the quarterback for the USFL champion Birmingham Stallions this just completed season. He was named the league's MVP after completing more than 67% of his passes and throwing a league-high 20 touchdown passes. He was intercepted only 5 times. McGough is 27 years old. He has never played in an NFL game. He'll bat rookie Sean Clifford for the backup quarterback job of the Packers. He might even push Jordan Love for the starting job if Love doesn't perform well. A former Northwestern football player who played for the Wildcats as recently as last year has become the first person to actually file a lawsuit against Northwestern. The anonymous player claims to have been a victim of sexual hazing and racial discrimination. His attorney says Northwestern's alleged toxic culture runs deeper than the football program.
It wasn't just confined to one bad actor. It wasn't just confined to one team like the football team. That it also included a culture that was accepted and tolerated and encouraged on the baseball team, on other sports teams, and also with men and women's sports. So it's a tainted athletic department.
This anonymous player is seeking damages in excess of $50,000. The Cubs try to get back in the Nationals tonight. They lost last night 7-5. The Cubs have lost 4 of 5 games against the lowly Nationals this season. The White Sox are going with Lucas Giolito on the mound tonight in New York against the Mets. Each time out could be Giolito's last for the White Sox. He very likely will be traded before the trade deadline August 1st. He's won 6 games so far with a respectable ERA of 3.45. Shohei Ohtani also could very well be traded before the month is out. He homered again last night for the Angels in a comeback win against the Yankees. Ohtani has homered in 3 straight games and in 11 of his last 19 games. He leads the majors with 35 home runs. The Rivets open up a 4-game homestand tonight. They'll host Traverse City. And the Sky Carp are also home. They'll open up a 6-game series against the Quad Cities River Bandits. That's sports. We'll be right back.
First Warn Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More stays pretty quiet here as we go through the night tonight. Temperatures will drop down into the 50s once again, right around 57 degrees. We'll see the numbers climb tomorrow. Chance for shower thunderstorm late Wednesday evening.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.